Hello, Liberty Church family. I wanted to share more of a testimony with you. We missed that, about chances to just share what God is doing and what He is teaching us. And actually, just a few minutes ago, Crystal and I were talking and thinking through, we've been struggling with the timing of God. What do you have going on? Why aren't you doing something now? And with some friends of ours who are struggling greatly with job and family and health, and everything seems to be falling apart. We've been going through Psalms of Lament and praying to God, how long? And this morning I was reading Psalm 13, and the first two words are, how long? How long? Where are you, God? And then Crystal and I began to reflect on the timing of God, and principally because I just got back from an interview with a nurse who is doing a special report and study, and I was recommended there by a friend in the police force, and he asked if I'd participate with this interview. And so I went and talked, and it had been postponed a couple weeks because she got sick and couldn't come, and so finally we just did an interview. In the middle of the interview, I shared how we enjoy visiting the villages, and the village we visited on Mother's Day with Crystal, a little village up in the mountains about 40 minutes away, really, with only a few houses. And I said the name, and she looked at me and said, "That's my village. I'm from there. That's my father and my mother, they lived there, and I visited there as a kid." And she got emotional because we were talking about the same thing. We had just by chance said, let's go visit those mountains. We've never been back up in there, and I want to visit this one village that just saw on Google Maps. And a few weeks ago, we decided to take our family on our free day and go visit another village. And we were up in the 45 minutes or an hour away, and the kids were throwing rocks in the river, and we went into a cafe, and the first one wasn't for kids, so we went into the next one. We sat down, and in walks our neighbors from 2 floors above us, and who've been in our home for our Christmas tea, and the husband gives books to the kids when he can, and we talk. Or Crystal sent a voice text to someone who was struggling greatly, and she spent a long time just praying and crying for them, and there was no answer, no recognition that they received the text. And then on the morning of starting chemotherapy, they saw the voice text and they listened to it, and they were moved. But it was sitting in her text for 2 weeks without being heard because it was being saved for that day. There's thing after thing after thing like this of, how long, God? And it's as though God is saying, you have no idea what I'm doing right now. You just have to trust me. And the things that we do just on the spur of the moment, visiting some little village with the kids, to throw rocks in a river, or to go and drive through a little place and stop and talk with some older gentleman. It could open up a door. And then in this interview this morning, just talking about why we're in the valley, why we visit villages, because we're here because we want people to think about their souls. We want them to read the words of Jesus for the first time, because they're still with us. They're still powerful. And if you just take what other people believe about them and you never read them yourself, you could be missing out on something great. And maybe that little thing of visiting a village is what God wanted, and why He delayed the meeting 2 weeks, and why He put it in our minds to visit some obscure village. I don't know. But all my questions of, how long, oh Lord, how long? They're heard. And maybe we'll get an answer, maybe not. But these were just some moments when we could see that God hears, and He has a plan.